Good afternoon. My name is Matt Leshper with 1836 Property Management. This video is to discuss with you some of the behind the scenes information about onboarding properties that are already leased or tenant occupied. Oftentimes we have owners come to us and we go, "Hey guys, I just need you to manage this. It's all done for you. I'm going to hand you this property and this tenant. You're going to get paid and all you're going to do is collect rent. Just take it and run. It's a gift to you." And we end up pushing back on those owners and saying, "You're not quite giving us a gift. You're actually giving us a problem, but you may not feel that way." So we wanted to create a video for you and let you know what happens behind the scenes and maybe help us grow a little bit closer with our understanding. So from an onboarding perspective, we have an onboarding department. Those are going to be the first people that are going to get in touch with your tenant. They're going to get in touch with you after they assess the property and find out what needs to be done, what's not up to code, what you didn't know because maybe you're managing from another state. And we're going to discuss property code with you, challenges in the lease, things like that. So let's say you've got a property, it's already leased, your real estate agent did you a favor, did it for free, got it leased, knows if they were qualified, or he knows if they were the first person that walked across their desk. But either way, moved in and it's ready to go. From an onboarding perspective, getting the money sent to us, which is the security deposit money, that money has to legally be held in a trust from an old property manager or from the owner, is a problem. Many owners get that check and spend that money and they go, "Well, I'll figure it out when I figure it out." And that is not your money. That is the tenant's money held in trust. And so we need that check up front. That's oftentimes not what people do with it, strangely enough. Most of the time, we also don't get the leases when the leases are signed. And sometimes it can take days, multiple calls, emails to get. Oftentimes the rent's due because there's a turnover or you want to start services at the start of the month. And residents don't want to pay. And again, if they don't know who they are, they don't know what's going on, and they really don't like the headache that they're going through. So we've got to then have a conversation with them, introduce you to them. We've got additional paperwork that you will actually have to sign to let them know that we are then in charge of the property. And it's a little bit more difficult than just saying, "Hey guys, we're going to collect your rent, send it to us," because there's too many scams going on. For onboarding as well, there's usually no move-in report. So what is a move-in report? A move-in report is not just, "Hey, nothing's wrong with the property." A move-in report is someone went to the property and took photographic evidence of everything in that property. They touched everything in that home that's operable. They turned on the hose bills. They turned on the lights. They made sure the refrigerator was working. They went through and checked the AC as far as it's cold and it's 110 degrees outside today. They're not going to actually be an HVAC technician, but they've done a what's-to of that property and they've photographed everything in there and documented the condition. So when the tenant moves in and goes, "Hey, there's 12 light bulbs out," it's possible because light bulbs go out. But you're going to know that probably 12 didn't go out, or if they sent that to you a month later, it's too late. And we have a documented form that we could bring to court should there be something or the tenant just have a disagreement. That documentation has to be done. Rarely is it ever done on a new property. And that seems great until we go to move out and itemize the security deposit, end up in courts. Fights over security deposits are the biggest expense, waste of time, litigated issue in real estate, I believe, in the state of Texas, because no one believes they should pay for anything. So if you don't have documentation, you're going to end up paying for it as an owner. Failing to account for a dollar correctly means you pay court costs, attorney's fees, and treble damages. So not having that move-in report is a big deal. Also, most of the time, if you're managing this property from California, sorry to pick on you guys from California, but we see this repetitively, the tenants are the only ones with the keys. So we can't even get into the property, and the tenants don't want to give it to us, and they don't know who it is. Has the property been rekeyed? Is it up to code? We don't know of any of these things. And so we actually have to go out, rekey the property to verify it's up to code, ensure the smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors, and everything else is working, because none of that has been done, and nobody can even get into the property when we take it out. Now, from a maintenance perspective, what could go wrong, right? I mean, it was a brand new property. The tenants moved in. Everybody's happy. That really never happens. We usually find that there's a laundry list of non-urgent items that maybe the tenant didn't bring up, but they've been holding back. And so as soon as we let them know that a management company is taking over, they flood us with, "Well, these are the 45 things that weren't done that we want corrected on the house immediately." Day one, that's how we start off to the races. There's also usually one long-term priority item that we need to get caught up on up to speed with and get full documentation. Rarely do owners just come to us and go, "No, it's perfect. Everything's done." And it really is. There's usually a conflict. There's usually a problem. There's something else going on, is why many people come to us with these occupied properties. We're well aware of that. And so we've got to get caught up with that and actually assist the owner with it if we can. Also, usually the owner and tenant have communication between them and continue to communicate even when we tell them to go through us. As if they can reach you, as soon as we try to implement anything to protect you in the lease, such as fining them or holding them accountable, they're going to reach out to you guys as owners because they're going to complain and they're going to threaten and they're going to do everything else they can to manipulate that situation to their benefit. That's just human nature. And so having your information in the hand of those tenants is not going to make anybody's life easier. In fact, it's going to make it a lot worse. There's also usually bad blood between a previous management company if they failed you, or the owner if you have conflict with these tenants. And it takes a lot of time and effort to rebuild that trust, whether it's related to maintenance items, whether it's related to the lease, or rental rate, or whatever it is. We rarely get properties where everyone's happy, and we're aware that this goes on. For ongoing management, let's talk about one of those things, because it should all be smooth sailing, right? Well, tenants are already upset in the relationship, or the owner already has a challenge where you rarely reach out to us. Because if you're that far into it and you think it's so easy, then those owners just go, well, I can handle this myself, unless there's an underlying issue. So we're all kind of aware that that is a theme here. Additional work for the tenants to adapt and get to know new management is always required, and people don't want to do additional work, and so they're usually grumpy about it at least. The leases and documentation we get when agents who specialize in sales do property management or leasing or anything in this realm, if it's anyone but a qualified, probably I would say 25 companies in Austin do this really well, property manager. Doing that lease, you're going to be blown away at how many things are missing, how few protections you have as a property owner, because you're not using the highest standard lease, highest standard documentation practices with the most preventative nature measures in place. Preventative measures in place. Those agents just don't know what to do with that, and they really don't care, because after the lease is signed, they're out of here. You get to deal with everything left, and that ends up flowing through to us, or the ones that pick it up after. So the last one I'm going to leave with you, because we really learned a big lesson this year about trying to support owners and trying to help everybody out. Some tenants actually select properties managed by owners instead of management companies, targeting out-of-state owners, because they know that once they get in that property, they hold the cards. They can manipulate you. They can tell you rent's due tomorrow. It's really, really hard for out-of-state owners to hold anyone accountable. When you're not here, you can't walk the property. You don't have anybody that's documenting the property on a really regular condition. And those people kind of hold the deck of cards against you. We know that this is all of what comes into play. So why in the world do we manage these properties? Why do we accept occupied properties? Well, because some owners don't know that this is what they are looking at. This is what we're looking at. Some owners don't know that the tenant fees make up 25% of a property manager's income. And so we actually lose money on properties that are tenant occupied for quite a while. And so that's why we want to make sure that you guys are long-term investors. We have a lot of investors that will come in and go, I can't sell my property. Let's rent it. And they'll rent it for 6 months, and they'll go, oh, I had somebody that made me an offer. And they'll go, I'll cancel it, manage it. Okay. And then they come back to us 3 months later and go, oh, well, that didn't work out. I want to re-sign up. And this back and forth is kind of the conflict that we deal with when trying to find good quality people to collaborate with over the years, because we want long-term investors, we want to build relationships. And so that kind of in and out of the market is what costs everybody a lot of money, us, you, and everybody in between. So however you're going to do this, if you're going to sell your property, we know that this is the end of 2025, the inventory is through the roof as it's never been before for properties for sale. If you're going to sell your property and you can afford to sell it, sell it. We support that 100%. Not every property and not every owner should be an investor. And that's totally fine. But if you're going to lease your property, if you can't afford to sell that property, you've got to stay in this for the long run and do it the right way. If not, the unknowns will eat you alive, the money will eat you alive, and you'll be in a worse position where you start. If you have any questions, speak to your salesperson at 1836, your investment advisor. They'll be happy to walk you through this. If you want to meet a property manager, you're welcome to do so. Ask us any questions you've got. Feel free to submit those to us, even to questions app. 1836pm.com, and we'll be happy to shoot some videos for you, give you any educational material you would like, and we absolutely look forward to serving you. We just want to make sure that everybody's educated, that there's a lot of context in this process that may not be obvious from the onset, and we need to work through it together as a team. We're here for you. 1836propertymanagement.com. See you in Austin. Bye.